Okay, this is part two. I skippered myself and the screen went blank. Anyways, just to continue, 1974 was a very tough year. In fact, the headlines in the Vancouver Sun were "Realtors are prowling like hungry tigers," and the story was that we would never see the real estate prices recover. And our average price, of course, was $60,000. When one thinks about it, it's amazing. But the point is, an ice cream cone in 1960 was 10 cents. If you had 10 cents in your pocket, you could buy a chocolate bar or you could buy an ice cream cone. Wow, that's really something. And today the ice cream cone is $4. And that's inflation. And this is the key. That's the key of my argument, that as long as we keep printing money out of thin air, which we're doing now, not just in Canada or the United States, we're doing it worldwide, and that money that we create out of thin air, we then compete that money with the money you and I earn, things of real value, hard assets, are going to keep going up. And that's what has happened. That's what has happened all along. You see, the naysayers in 1974 didn't realize that by 1980, we were at 100,000. But by 1981, we went down again. In fact, from 1978 in Vancouver till 1981, we had the sharpest price increase, a boom. Usually booms are followed by some busts. The sharpest price increase ever. We went from 78,000 to 181,000 in little over 2 years, only to fall back again by the fall of 1982, back to 110,000, almost a 40% collapse. Yep, 40%, just like what you're seeing right now in the United States. That's what happened in Vancouver too. We just don't have the memories. Now, we had a 16.5% 5-year term. We had all sorts of things going on that determined that, but we had a huge reversal. Only we came out of there again, so that by 1987, our average prices had risen to almost 200,000. By 1990, they were 230. But in 1987, we had a stock market crash. I was the president of the largest real estate company in the world. That is a company-owned real estate company, $550 million in revenues. And we hired the best advice money could buy. And they told us, we're going to go straight into a depression. And so we laid off 1,000 people when we didn't need to. The point I'm trying to make is in 1987, everybody thought real estate was over. The naysayers brought out the champagne again. And yet, we came out of there quite nicely. To where by 1995, the average price in Vancouver had actually soared to 340,000. Wow! And of course, we knew that Hong Kong was going to be integrated back into mainland China, and that was problematic, very problematic, we thought. But mainland China did a magnificent job putting together the repatriation of Hong Kong into mainland China. A lot of the mainland Chinese and one of the Hong Kongers went back. And so our market here went down from 1995 to 1998. Vancouver real estate went down by 17% again. And oops, the naysayers came out again. This is the end, straight to hell in a handbasket. Now, of course, we're being told today that our inflation rate is only 2.1%. Poppycock. I mean, nothing that you and I buy is only going up at a rate of 2.1%. And we can only understand that we live in the most unreported inflation of all times when you realize that food, oil, house prices all have come out of that Volcker basket of 1980 if we were to compare ourselves against that. You might want to go to shadowstats.com, not my website, just a website that keeps the balance between what was originally in that basket of inflation that we measured and what is today in there. And so today we're much rather at 9% than 2.1%. But whatever your beliefs are really irrelevant. The facts are clear. We've risen from 13,000 to 1.1 million. But we had a lot of valleys to go through, and we did this. You know, when you consider that by 1998, I wrote a book called Forget About Location, Location, Location. I argued that we had to understand that we are in an inflationary world, and that if we did what we did the previous 35 years to 1998, we would have every house be worth $6 million in Vancouver. Think about it. And the average price was $278. And now what we are, 13 years later, it's $1.1 million. We are well on the way of my original forecast, which came at the depths of the then recession in Vancouver. We were really negative. I wrote another story, which I called the yeah butters. You know, go into a night in the room in Vancouver, say a nice day, and people say, oh, yeah, but it's raining tomorrow. We are very high in Vancouver, and then we get very low. Now you know what happened in the last 11 years. from 278,000 to 1.1 million. And so when you take a look at that and you say the naysayers are coming out again, well, clearly my subscribers to my weekly newsletters, which by the way is only $3 a week, I had to get that in there, but they know that I forecast a downturn in the interior, on Vancouver Island, in Alberta, now in Toronto, not because I think the end of the world is going to descend on us and I have to eat rotten eggs and scrape for food in the forest, no, but because it's normal. Real estate is cyclical. It's not location where you make your money, it's timing. You have to understand where you are in the cycle, and certainly today I look at the world that in Vancouver we may go down to sideways for a while, but 10 years from now, ladies and gentlemen, we will be higher again. Hard assets will go higher in direct relation to the printing of money. Now, in my book in 1998, I compared the real estate market to duck hunting, where I said house hunting is a little like duck hunting. And duck hunting, one has to lead the duck. You have to shoot where the duck is going to fly to, not where the duck was. So you have to understand where the duck is going to fly in order to have that wonderful duck dinner. You have to know what's happening on all aspects. And that's what we discuss in our newsletter weekly. Why is Greece important to us? What is happening in our Canadian dollar? I forecasted it to be $1.05 by last April, and it was. And we forecast, of course, the future as well. So, a wonderful ride from 16,500 to 1 million. And hey, don't listen to the naysayers. Have a great day.